What is up? My name is Sam, and today we'll be doing a prediction slash breakdown of this week's UFC 288 Aljamain Sterling versus Henry Cejudo. Triple C is back in action after 3 years, and we're here going to make some predictions and break down the main card. And let's start off with the first fight of the main card, which is Kron Gracie versus Charles Jourdain. And here you have Kron Gracie. He hasn't fought since 2019. Of course, he's part of the famous Gracie family. Amazing jiu-jitsu. I mean, that's exactly what he's going to want to do this game against a very young Charles Jourdain, who, I mean, his ground game isn't that. Of course, compared to Gracie, it's not very that good. And that's I heard some the press conferences. That's what he's going to try to strike with him, try to get him up. He's not going to let him take him down, which is going to be a really hard thing to do. And I think the 3 years off Gracie is gonna really affect him. I mean, he's not afraid to throw. His striking is not that good, but he's not afraid to do it. He'll stand there and throw down with you if he has to. But here I'm gonna take Charles with the win. I think the 3 years is gonna affect Kron, and I mean, hopefully he could be more active, and hopefully this can lead to more fights for Kron. And with the second fight of the main card, we have Movsar. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Movsar versus Diego Lopez, who is taking the fight on short notice because of a Bryce Mitchell injury. I believe it's Bryce Mitchell. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. But Bryce Mitchell injury, I believe it was a back injury during his training camp. So Diego Lopez did have to take this on short notice. And it is his UFC debut. I was looking a lot into Mosfar. I think I would have took him either way, and he was a replacement for another opponent that Bryce Mitchell was supposed to face. I believe after being moved from a fight. Now it was just this whole fight was just weird, and I mean I'm glad they were able to get Movsar was able to get this fight. He's undefeated. He's on a hot streak and he's on the rise. And here I think he takes care of business. And Diego Lopez, I hope he makes a statement here. We are able to look at him like, you know what, maybe he can have a future here in the UFC. And yeah, I mean, this fight's kind of weird because both guys took the fight short notice, and Diego Lopez took it really short notice, but he made weight. Congratulations to him. And hey, there's another guy that just wants to fight, and that's what we love to see. And of course, the next fight, Jessica Andrade versus Jan. Oh my. Jan Sionanen. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong again. But here, Jessica Andrade, moving up from flyweight, going back and forth on her weight classes. But, all she wants to do is fight. That's what's been saying in the press conferences. She wants to fight. She wants to be champion. Hopefully with this fight, I think Dana White said that who wins this one could be next for the, I believe it's the strawweight championship against Weili Zhang. And here, I mean, Jan is very, very impressive. Her past fight, I can't remember off the top of my head who it was. I can't remember off the top. I'm sorry, I can't remember off the top of my head who it was. But I remember her just being able to compose herself on the ground, and her, I mean, she's been really able to grow every single fight that she's had. And here, I have Jan winning. I think her being in Faber's camp in Sacramento, I think that is huge for her. And I think with her versus Weili, Jan versus Weili fight card would be amazing. China versus China. You have these two people who are familiar with each other, and I think it'd be a great fight to sell here. But I have Jan taking the win over Jessica Andrade, and I think some change needs to happen with these contenders in the women's division. And the co-main event of UFC 288, we have Belal Muhammad versus Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns fought not even a month ago versus Jorge Masvidal, who he beat, and obviously Jorge Masvidal retired. And you have Belal Muhammad, who took the fight also short notice. These two guys really wanted the fight. They want that championship fight versus Leon Edwards. But of course, Dana White did say they will fight the winner between Leon Edwards and Colby Covington. And you know what? I don't think Colby Covington should be getting the title shot, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. If you have a chance for a title, why not take it? And these two guys are going to look like they're going to want to try to finish each other. And Gilbert Burns is the better striker. I think he's a more powerful striker, but I think people are really kind of doubting Bilal, and we'll see here what matters more. Bilal is taking the fight short notice after Ramadan, so he was not really able to eat that much, of course, with Ramadan and all that, and he really didn't have much of a training camp. And then here, Gilbert Burns is taking this fight short notice after going through a whole training camp, and then not having that much time to prepare for a Bilal Muhammad. And here we'll see more. Is it okay to go fight from fight to fight? Or is it okay just to kind of take the fight short notice after being on Ramadan and all that? And here, I'm gonna take with Bilal. I think Gilbert Burns has already, this is his third or fourth fight just this year, which is insane. I mean, props to him for fighting, but I think he just needs a little bit more break. I think he needs time to heal and all that. And I think Bilal Muhammad is just locked in and wants to show everybody that he can be a world champion, and that's what it is. I think he's going to show here. I don't know about if it's going to be all finishes and all that. I think this fight goes to the distance. This will be a decisions by the ref. And here, but I have Bilal Muhammad winning the co-main event. And for the main event for UFC 288, we have Aljamain the Funk Master Sterling versus Henry Triple C Cejudo, aka the King of Cringe, which there has been a lot of cringe coming up to this fight. Watching the press conferences, watching the behind the scenes on the UFC vlogs, and man, this is, I mean, it is what it is. It's what you get when you ask for a Triple C fight. A lot of cringe. He was kicking pillows with Aljamain's face, with Sean O'Malley's face, and with Volkanovski's face. And I mean, it is what it is when you ask for Triple C. And here, Aljamain is, I think, on the fight streak of his life so far. I mean, he's in the best shape of his life. He's looking really lean. I think he was the last one to weigh in, and he weighed in at 134, which was perfect. 134, I'm getting confused a lot earlier. I think he kind of did that in mind games, thinking, you know what, I'm gonna have Henry think that I'm not gonna be able to make the weight, and of course he did do the weight cut today, like the day of. In the morning he woke up. I think they said he only had 8 more pounds to do, and he was able to get it down, and he was able to be a whole pound under the weight. And man, I want to believe in the Aljo hype. I was kind of disconnected from him with the whole Piotr Jan thing, with the whole kick, and I was just like, I don't know, man. It seemed like he was really acting that, but then he's really earned my respect with this whole TJ Dillashaw. Of course, TJ Dillashaw did hurt his shoulder, and then beating Piotr Jan in the second fight. But here, I'm going to take Triple C, man. It's hard to count out a guy who's a 2-time champ, a gold medalist, and then talking about training with John Jones and Mighty Mouse and a lot of young up-and-coming fighters that fight in his gym, who he trains, and just taking all that knowledge. He's a really smart, probably one of the smartest fighters in the UFC, and him learning from John Jones, picking John Jones' brain, picking Mighty Mouse's brain, who's arguably, 2 of the greatest fighters of all time. And here with this win could arguably put him up with those two. And I think Cejudo just is better in almost everything than Aljamain, and I have much respect for Aljamain. The wrestling goes to Cejudo, the striking goes to Cejudo. I think it's just Aljamain is such a bigger body. I think that's the advantage. He's longer. He looks a lot stronger, but Cejudo was the first person to weigh in, and he was ready, and he weighed in perfectly. He looked locked in. He didn't look completely drained. Aljamain did look a little drained, but I don't really want to look into that. But Cejudo's been looking really, really locked in. He looks, I think everybody could be also, this could be 2 things. It goes, Aljamain just throws a kick or just lands a punch and just completely knocks Cejudo off out cold, or this is a John Jones and Cyril Gane situation where it's just, hey man, I know you've been kind of destroying these guys, but the champ is back. The champ never really lost, and man, I think that's what the more situation is going to happen this Saturday. And I don't think the 3 years, like I said with Kron, the 3 years is going to hurt Cejudo, because he has been more active with trading with multiple people, with Demetrius and with John. And And I just think, yeah, I think Henry Cejudo is gonna take it, and I'm more ready about what's gonna happen after this fight. Is Aljamain gonna go for the rematch, immediate rematch afterwards, or is he gonna be like, I don't know, man, this weight cut is a little rough on me. I'm just gonna move up. I'm gonna fight Volk. I'm gonna fight Yair or whoever wins that belt and move up, or I think he should try to do the rematch, because I think, however, we see with this first fight, if it's close, then maybe he has a chance of beating Cejudo. If he beats him, maybe he tries for double. And here, for if Cejudo wins, I kind of, I mean, of course, we have to see the O'Malley shot. I honestly don't think Sean O'Malley has a chance against Henry Cejudo, because he's just gonna take him down and wrestle with him, and then it's just gonna be dominance like that. And then with the whole Henry saying that Volkanovski after that, I'm not sure about that. Volkanovski is on another level right now. Maybe prime for prime, I would say yes, but right now, especially 3 years, and you're talking Volkanovski, who is, man, he has chances. He took Islam to the distance, and there's arguments that he beat Islam, but yeah, I don't know about all that. I think there is that Henry's too much, biting too much that he can chew. But here, for my UFC 288 main card predictions, I have Henry Cejudo winning, Bilal Muhammad winning, Jan winning, Malzvar winning, and Charles Jordan winning. I want you to tell me your comments, who you think's gonna win in each fight of the main card, and even in the prelims of UFC 288. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time with more content. Peace.